Okay, the fifth new technology that I'm going to highlight is Google Gemini, which this one was a lot of trial and error. So I definitely don't feel 1,000% confident yet, but I have kind of introduced and played around with it a little bit with my students, and me and my coworkers kind of all did this. So it is a type of artificial intelligence which can kind of freak people out. But as just like we've learned in this class, it's uprising. Students are going to use it. They're already kind of exposed to it. We might as well, at least my thought process is you might as well demonstrate how to use it ethically and responsibly and wisely. So it is called Google Gemini and it is available on any device. You can literally just go search Google Gemini in your web browser. It's very easy to access, especially for my kids. They can kind of go to that like waffle icon and then it has Gemini there on their iPads. So, kind of like I said, AI is here. It's a good way to introduce how to use AI appropriately, usefully. It allows students to experiment and practice safety and trial and error. The purpose of it for in my classroom. Obviously, there's tons of purposes for Gemini, but in my classroom, I'm using it strictly for exposure and practice. Obviously, you can use Gemini for so many different things like creating images, typing, getting ideas for things, all that stuff. But my class purpose is for exposure and practice. Audience, my coworkers have used it, I've used it, my students have attempted or have experimented with it just a little bit. Some compelling features that I have appreciated are when you use it, you can go to My Stuff on the left and it kind of pulls up like different creations that you've made over time. So if a student was created an image or a file or a creation, that would be saved here. I also love that you can just type in a prompt. So for example, a way that my students have used this is we're in our poetry unit. And so I kind of showed them how you could search up words that rhyme with, and you could search sad, words that rhyme with sad. And so then it would kind of show single word rhyming words, kind of seeing it as a tool. So we have used that feature. I also really like how you can search down here. You can go fast, you can look for thinking, you can do pro math, different kinds of help, kind of thinking about Gemini as a tool. Like I said, it can kind of dictate one of those things. I love that part. But we have used, for example, we've used like their school picture and created like 100-year or 100th day of school picture of them as 100-year-old. So we put in an image and we typed in we searched make this photo look like I am 100 years old, and then they upload their photo. So that was a really fun activity. Some ISTE standards, 1.2a, digital footprint. Students manage their digital identity and understand the lasting impact of their online behaviors on themselves and others and make safe, legal, and ethical decisions in the digital world. So we kind of use this as a lesson on digital footprints, knowing that anything you put in online kind of just tracks with you. And so we need to just make sure that we're responsible in what we're inputting, not using it inappropriately, not abusing it, and just focusing on safe, ethical use, especially because they have school provided iPads. So that's another layer of this is school district property. We need to use it well. It's not for our private personal use. It is school property. And then 1.2c, safeguard well-being. Students safeguard well-being by being intentional about what they do online and how much time they spend online. So like I said earlier, just thinking of it, being wise in what we're inputting so that we get the types of outcomes we want that are also school appropriate. Gemini is also managed by our district, and so I haven't run into anything crazy, but as much as it's a helpful tool, it can still be a scary tool. So I'm still learning and growing in that area, but the experiences I've had and my students have had have been pretty good so far. So Google Gemini, experiment with it, try it out. I'm not a pro, but still learning.